Hey guys, this is Derek from Derek and Joe's Booze Reviews, or I guess I'm putting on my YouTube channel, Bryce03. I just want to put a small video up out here, pretty much like a whiskey's 101, like an introductory to um, the beginners. You're looking at whiskeys and liquor at the liquor shop, and one know, not sure um, how to drink them the right way, and if you're like me, when I started, my version of drinking liquor was a Christmas with a glass of ice and some Seven Up. You know, that's all. That's all I knew, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's a typical Bayman, slash towny Newfoundland tradition, that we all grew up with, and our parents. But there's another side to it. Whiskey is meant to be enjoyed other than soda, like pop. Now, there's no wrong way to drink whiskey. The only right way to drink whiskey is how you like it and how you like to drink it. If you look at somebody and tell them, well, you shouldn't be drinking that whiskey that way, or with rocks, or without rocks, or with ice, or with water, without water, only a whiskey snob does that. So don't do that. Okay. If so, not going to get into a rant or anything on that bullshit. All right, guys. So yeah. So okay, whiskey. First of all, what do you drink it out of? What kind of type of glass? Okay, there's typically two kinds of glasses. Okay, there's standard glass. Okay, now this is an Irish crystal, but you don't have to get all fucking fancy like I did. Just a standard tumbler, juice glass, and you put your how much I usually put in like that much, you know. And that one, these are fine. These are great for if you like an ice cube with your whiskey, and because it's a lot, big mouth. And the only downfall that I find, if you're a whiskey drinker that likes to smell it, the wide mouth, it doesn't hold in the whiskey, like the smell, the vapor. Now, should give you another example. This glass, it's a Glencairn, okay? And if you notice in this glass, it's a little stem here, but it's wide on the bottom, okay? I'll try to get my fucking big hand out of it. It's wide on the bottom, but as it goes up on top, it narrows down, okay? See, I'll show it to the camera, see if that zoom in. All right? So it narrows in. So what that does is when you take your whiskey in a glass, okay, and you just take it and you can just roll it around the edges, right? To put on the side, roll it around. Now, if I get this clearly, you see the smearing on the side of the glass, okay? That's called legs, okay? That's the whiskey that it's just sticks to the side of the glass, and that's a lot of it that provides that smell, okay, and that vapor that's coming off the whiskey. And the narrow top of the glass traps in the vapor and the smell, okay. So it gets released, but at a very slower rate. So when you smell it, you can smell it a lot better because it holds it in the glass better than this. It will release it faster. So when you go do a side by side comparison, which you should do if you got one of these, just smell this one and smell that one. Now you're going to get you'll know if you try it side by side, you'll get a much better smelling profile off of the Glencairn. Now this one here, like I said, there's no wrong way. You fucking drink it out of a mug if you want, you know. This one I find, if you're just going to have like a bourbon on the rocks or something like that, or if I'm going to have one, and it's just you're different to taste. I'm not sipping it, and smelling it like I am with a Glencairn like this. This one I'll just take one and I'll let it sit in the glass with a bit of water, and I'll get to that in a moment. And then I'll just let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes, and I'll every now and then I'll just roll it and I'll just smell it, and I'll take a taste, and I'll enjoy the smell and the taste together, and how it is without water, and then when I add a few drops of water, and how it changes the profile and all that. It's a great experience, and anybody should get these. This one here is just what I want to just taste. I like bourbon, for example. I want a bourbon on the rocks and let it roll, or just a bourbon with some water, and I'm just to taste. I'm there for the flavor. That's it. Not smell. So that's what this comes in handy. Now, getting to the water. You don't have to add water, but I do recommend if you start off drinking whiskey, put some in a glass and then smell it and taste it. Do your rolling and stuff like that, and take a few sips. Now, if you're going to sip it, like just think of it as hot coffee. You wouldn't take a mouthful of hot coffee. You sip it a little small bit very slowly, and that's how you should drink whiskey. You sip it. Getting with the water, you could get. I usually use a teaspoon, or use straw. But you put your straw in the glass of water and take it out and just let go the drops as you need. A lot of people use straws, very cheap. If you want to go, if you're wondering where I got these glasses, the Glencairns, Amazon. Right now, you can get Amazon, if you got Amazon Prime, for example, you can get a pack of 4 for like $34, shipped and everything. It's tax and it's free shipping, but it's tax in to your home. So it's not bad. And then they're great glasses. And I've seen them on the boys on YouTube and the Whiskey Tribe. If Google, not Google, or you can search in YouTube Whiskey Tribe. Great channel. You'll learn a lot, tons about whiskey and notes and stuff. So they're relatively cheap glasses, and they're, in my opinion, a lot of people's opinion, the best glasses if you're going to, savor and sip and sample your whiskeys. Okay. Okay. Whiskey accessories. There's not a whole lot of whiskey accessories out there, other than glasses and a spoon and straw, But there are. Now you don't gonna get fancy, but my wife last Christmas gave me this. This is a Scottish version of a straw. This is a pipette. Now it looks kind of like a crack pipe, but it's not. I don't do crack. It's a small hole there, and basically it's the same principle as a straw. You dip it in, you put your finger over the hole that's right there, and pull it up, and pull over the glass, and just let go. As you need, it'll come down, in your glass. And you can Google them. It's called Whiskey Water Dropper. AngelShareGlass.com. I don't know if she got it on Amazon. Maybe, possibly. Amazon got everything, so wouldn't be shocked. So that's AngelShareGlass.com if you want to check it out. It's called a Whiskey Water Dropper. Okay, great rates. Just don't drop it like I almost said a minute ago. Now, okay, so types of whiskey. If you're saying like what is a good whiskey to start off on, like a easy drinking whiskey. Depends on your genre you're going to start with. Me, I don't like Canadian. I'm not against the people who make Canadian whiskeys and love our Canadian whiskey, but I'm not a whiskey lover. I'm waiting for the Wooden Walls distilling company to produce their product because I want to try that. But in general, Canadian whiskey sucks. There's a couple of ones that are okay, like the Harvest Dry by Crown Royal. That's okay. Other than that, I'm not a fan. Anyway, Scotch. If you want to try Scotch, a good easy one to start off with is like a Glenfiddich 12. It's a good one. Dalwhinnie is another nice one. Let's see. Oh, This one is a really nice one. This one's like $90, but it's called Glenmorangie. If you can see that. Quinta Ruben. This one is really, really, really nice. It's got all of them got what they, how they're made, and there's this one particularly was in the finished in port casks. So basically, what they do is they make their whiskey and put it into their oak barrels, and let it sit for 10 years or 12 years or whatever. And for the last couple of years, they transferred out into port, either port or bourbon barrels or wine barrels or sherry barrels, and it takes the flavor from that's soaked in the wood into and infuses it into the whiskey, and then you get your finishes like that. That's called your casks finishes. Okay, yeah. So the Glenmorangie is a great one. Anyone want try that one? Bourbons are it's a American whiskey and bourbons. It's a huge area. There's a lot. Now, unfortunately, our selection here in Newfoundland sucks balls. Okay, NLC needs to get off the fucking ass and do something about that. Import some quality stuff. However, there's a few of them I like, but this one in particular, it's called. It's from John E. Fitzgerald. It's Larceny. Okay, this way. Okay, I'll try not to get it all flary. Okay, Larceny, it's bourbon. It's 46%, 92 proof. And this is great. It's really, really easy drinking. If you put a bit of water into it, and water really opens up your whiskeys. Like, don't put too much in, because it's very easy to make it like too watery and drown it out, and it's garbage. But if you just try with a couple of drops and then let it sit for a couple minutes and then taste it, and then add a couple more drops until it tastes right. With a certain amount, you'll get it'll hit the right profile. Okay, and all the oils it'll change in the whiskey. Larceny is a great one. If you want to try another bourbons to try, Buffalo Trace is a great. Knob Creek is another one. 1792 is amazing. The selections we got, they are good bourbons, but there's a shit ton of more you can get in the mainland or in the States and whatever that we can't get here. So unfortunately, I'm stuck with what we got. Now get into Irish. Now a lot of you guys have seen this. They're going Irish. Okay, here we go. Now Irish are pretty. You can get your blends, and you can get your single malts, but that's like any whiskey. You can get your what a blend is. A blend is they take 50% of whiskey that comes out of the cask and put it into a container, a barrel, or whatever, tank, and they'll fill it up with probably 80-90% grain alcohol, and top it off with water to lower the alcohol percentage down to what they want, like 40, 42, 44, 45, whatever. That's a blend. A single malt is primarily whiskey from the cask, and from there, if they're put into transferred to another cask to finish, like a port or a sherry or bourbon cask or whatever, or from there straight to a bar, straight to the glass. Sorry, the bottles. So it's cask to bottle, not mixed with anything. There's no grain alcohol in it. It's just a single malt, one single. That's it. That's the primary difference. There's a lot more educated differences in that, but that's the best you're going to get with me. Okay, I'm just a beginner myself. Getting back to the Irish, the Jamesons is a good drinker. I mean that's obviously a blend. If you want to up, Jameson's got a couple more you can get here, like this one here. It's Jameson's Black Barrel. What this one is, they took when they made it's primarily the same Jamesons as the regular standard Jameson's that you get. But before taking it out and mixing it and put it in bottles, they took it and then put it into bourbon casks and let it sit for a bit in bourbon casks. And that's got to get, because the bourbon casks sometimes they're charred on the inside, like they burn them in the inside and make them charry. So that char flavor comes through. So yeah, and the black barrel is a nice one. It's a real nice finish on that one. There's another one called Tarcanel you can get here. Connemara, I don't know if you can get that one. That's a peated single malt Irish whiskey. My buddy Fabian, he's a lover of Redbreast, which is a great one. Green Spot's another one, but there's some stupid reason they're stopped carrying that one. So grab that if you can before it's gone. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, so I would try a bottle of each. Like, I know times are tough and this COVID bullshit, but yeah, if you're interested in trying, like, stick with what you know and get used to that. And then if you like, for instance, if you're into Irish and you get into drinking Irish, how you like it. Like you try Scotch. Well, then you can go into Scotch. You go to the liquor store, they got flavor profiles and stickers, and they didn't before, but now the past couple of years they do, and they got what kind of notes, primary notes you're going to find in the bottles. And if there's not, you can always ask somebody. There's people that they somewhat know what they're talking about there when it comes to in depth about the whiskeys. Yeah, so if you're a Scotch, I'd start off with Glenfiddich. That's what I started off with, Glenfiddich, and then go on from there. When you get into the peat, if you see anything with peat on it, that's got like smoke, you smell it, and you swear to Jesus you're sitting down over a beach in the summertime in the evening with a fire on the beach. Just that smoke off the driftwood. That's what peat is. I love it. And if you're either going to love it or hate it. And peat, you can get scotches and Irish whiskeys make them with peat. And now bourbons in the past few years are starting to put the peat in and here and there. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I got. Other than that, because some tips, have a glass full of ice water, cold ice water. Cold ice water to add if your drops in your whiskey glass that's what I find better. And a container of water to drink. Like drink a couple mouthfuls before and between sips have a taste of water just to cleanse your palate. Okay. Yeah, that's it. All right. Sorry for rambling on for 18 minutes, but yeah, cheers. Any questions, man? Just pop it down below. Okay. And give me a thumbs up. Cheers.